You're such an asshole.
So in the wonderful world of Oz, it's probably 10 p.m. and depending on where you're in Australia, maybe it's Perth. Perth would be earlier. So maybe it's only 10 a.m. there and maybe it's midnight over in Sydney. But this one's for the Aussies because one of you guys texted me. You guys got Winnie the Pooh? Do they make that illegal as well in Australia, along with everything else? This is long. And if you guys want to pay a lot more money, you could send me long, belabored emails. Hey, Cappy, returning client. You made a video for me about 6 months ago about potentially quitting and going to nightclubs. 22-year-old guy from Australia. Sorry for the rambling in this one. I had a pretty crappy day. Ramble away, guys. I charge by the second. I have a bit of a different request that you haven't really been asked before, but I feel I like your input in my situation would be great. To summarize in a nutshell what happened, I was at my local shopping mall, and this guy accompanied by two other dudes. They're always cowards like that. Bullies are like that. Came up to me and asked me to take my bag. He said he had a knife on him and that if I didn't give him a bag, he would stab me. I just walked off. He continued escalating the situation. I started yelling back and it would try to attract attention from security and other shoppers during the disease. Shopping center was practically dead and not many others. Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys got 10 seconds to go and grab all your life supplies on a Tuesday at 3:47 p.m. Then you better get back. I'm so glad we prevented the Japanese from invading you. I know I didn't do it. I know. It got extremely heated and I threw a half cup of coffee on him, hitting him in the face. I then pulled out my phone and started filming the guy. I'm proud he did that. When I pulled out my phone, he said, what are you going to do? Call the police? I said, I'm not calling anyone. Started filming, pointing the camera in his direction. Security came up to both of us, asked him to move on. I got on my phone and called the police. One of the security guards waved at me to come to them, and we started pursuing them. As I was on, now here, look, you added 2 whole paragraphs I don't need right now. But that's all right. Because I had to buy a new, one of those water sprinkling things. So that's where some of your money went. Sexy things I buy at the new house. God, I am an old adult. It's like, oh, now I know what my dad was talking about. We need this. Yeah, but shouldn't we have like toys maybe? No, we need a water sprinkling. I was on my phone to the police, the security team at the center, as well as myself were chasing them around. We caught up to them in a bus stop outside the mall. The perpetrators, 2 friends, jumped out of a bus, but jumped off a second later when they saw the security. We chased them around the border of the mall. Unfortunately, they ran. You should all be in better shape. You should have caught these guys. I'm not a great sprinter, but I can go the distance. I could go for the cruising speed, especially when she's all alone in her time of need. Chased around the border of the mall. Unfortunately, they ran into an adjacent street outside the mall before the police could arrive, and we had eyes on them. Unfortunately, the security at the mall said they weren't allowed to follow them off-site, as that was the police jobs, which is fair enough. Yeah, and the insurance won't cover them. That's another thing. Police arrived at the center around 30 minutes after when seconds count, the police are only half an hour away. I met another 2 security guards that were in the mall. They said these 3 men were already known in the center of management as an employee from a grocery store, caught them stealing. I called the security to make sure the way thing happened. I would ask, why don't you just set an entrapment, keep an eye out for those guys? I made a statement to police, and after I made a statement to one of the managers of the grocery store, I made a statement they were a witness. Manager at the grocery store showed me some photos of security forward to confirm the same 3 guys. Now that this is over, where do I go for? Is he here? Is where you could have just boop, boop. That's all right. I need a watering sprinkler system. That system. Now that this is over, where do I go from here? I asked the police how long it would take to receive a call back. They had told me it would be potentially ages. I've never been a victim of this sort of crime. Well, technically, you weren't a victim. In my life, I don't know anyone that has. It seriously made me reconsider the safety of my local area that I've lived in for 12 years. I know I've heard incidents like this happening on the news through friends, but I've always thought they were blown out of proportion. I don't feel this is a good idea for me to go shopping in this mall ever again. From my friends tell me assaults and attempted thefts like this is mostly go unsolved. Try murders. Honestly, though, I feel sick to my stomach about stuff like this can happen. I honestly don't know how I'm going to sleep at night. I hate this. God almighty. Really? This is the worst? They didn't even have a knife, probably. You didn't see one. I hate to say I have anxiety, but this whole thing has put me on edge and has made me really anxious. I am glad that the police helped me, but it annoys me that these dickheads will most likely go unpunished. I don't know what the law says about self-defense, but from what I've seen, it's fairly strict. Example, we aren't able to own handguns or pepper spray on our own protection. It pisses me off to no extent that I can't defend myself like I would if I lived in North America. Not that I hate the police, but they're just following the laws, dude. Not that I hate the police, but it pisses me off to no extent that it took them 30 minutes to arrive. Probably because they're dealing with more important things. What happened to you is not a big deal. For some bags of groceries, that's not a big deal. They're dealing with kidnappings, real assault that actually happened, domestic violence, actual murders, DUI. In the rare case they are caught, I'm going to press charges. Have you gone through any similar experiences on this before, and how have you overcome it? Yeah, I was called my entire middle school and high. Well, not all of high school, but all of middle school and most of high school. I had bullies every day fighting me. And what I did is I just survived and got over it. And what I really wish I would have done, of course, back when you were younger, you don't know this, but when you were younger, of course, I probably would have gone to juvie, is like grabbed a baseball bat and made an example out of one that ever attacked me. And then that would have raised awareness. And then, oh my God, something else. Now, of course, I would have gone straight to juvie. I would have been even though like three guys, it's always bigger and outnumbered. Yeah, that's how big. I don't know, dude. I just got over it and moved on. Now as an adult, see, that's different. As a kid, that's what I experienced. As an adult, yeah, I carry. But another thing you got to learn, I asked, do you carry a mace or an aspirin, some kind of protection? So you notice I didn't read through your entire thing because I don't have time to read through it twice. Just to clarify, any sort of mace or weapons for self-defense is illegal here. Carrying anything intended to be a weapon is illegal. All right. There's no defense, like an asp. There's nothing you can do. What about a quorum? I don't even know if they make those anymore. It's a loud beeping noise that like gets all the attention. It's a loud alarm. Normally women attach it to their purse. If their purse gets yanked, it triggers it and the alarm runs off with the guys. I presume guys would be robbing people. How sexist of me. I mean, there's something like that you could kind of do. But I would carry some kind of self-defense weapon that is legal. That'd be my first step. But you guys got rid of all your guns, I bet. I bet you're all happy about that. I even looked at him like, well, who's in charge of Australia? I stopped paying attention after Howard and Turnbull and all that. Like, who's over there now? It doesn't matter. I'm like, you got the Conservative Party? What the heck? But here's what you got. Then you must learn self-defense is fighting. And I'm going to presume because you have anxiety. I'm not saying you shouldn't have anxiety, but like, oh my gosh, this is so traumatic. Okay, then you haven't been in a fight then, I'm presuming. And I know 3-on-1 is pretty bad. But isn't boxing pretty popular in Australia? Do you know how to fight? Now, admittedly, I haven't been to a dojo in quite some time, but I did do jiu-jitsu, which turns out not to be the one you want to learn. Because if you end up on the ground, as everybody knows, there's always more of their buddies than there are of you. And then once you're on the ground, even if you're winning, they're going to come and kick you in the head. So boxing is something where you can knock people out. But that's if you're not allowed to carry anything that evens the odd because your government hates you, it hates law-abiding people, they just love criminals so much, you're going to have to learn to fight. That's the only thing. Now, here's another thing I'd recommend. I'd carry mace anyway. And the reason why is this. Okay, fine, whatever. Now, it depends. I mean, I don't know how long you go to jail. But like if the fee, this is where it's going to be a judgment call on you, all right? If the choice is getting killed or going to jail for 30 days because you carried mace, all right, I'd carry the mace. Or an asp. I don't know if you guys know what an asp is. It's a baton. It's basically kind of a metal rod whip. And that'll F people up. But you know, what's the, you know, I'm sure maybe it goes state by state over there in Australia. Well, what's the cost? Like if it's 10 years, okay, well then maybe you just, here's your bag of groceries. You know, all right, there's your 20 Australian dollars worth of groceries and you let them go. But if it's something like, you know, oh yeah, it's like, you know, a misdemeanor and, you know, if it's in self-defense, it goes, you know, like, oh, you spend 3 days in jail. That might be worth it. And especially if like it saves your life. Hell yeah. because it's like dead or 3 days in jail. Again, it depends on how many. But here's the ultimate thing, and this is what I'm going to tell all Australians. Any of you who are producers, law-abiding, honorable, ethical people, all right? Leave. Leave. Go somewhere else. Because getting robbed $20 of groceries is pretty small and pathetic compared to what they're doing to you right now. And that's why and someone has got to tell me, maybe I should get Piggott on the phone here and ask, like, why is it so draconian? Why does your government like hate you? I mean, really hate it. Because if this is the indication, like, oh, what's the future going to be like? There would be none. And I remember this is like 20 years ago. I even applied for Australian citizenship. I'm like, okay, well, this was like when John Howard, was that the guy? Australia had some great fundamentals. It looked like a great place. And I really wanted to check out Perth. And I'm thanking my lucky stars I didn't get citizenship there. But there is no future for any freedom-loving person in Australia. And this is just another thing, because if they're cracking down on this, but they're going to let criminals go, they're not going to let you have self-defense weapons. All right. They obviously love criminals and bad people more than they do the good people. And there's no reason any self-respecting person should be in Australia. I'm still trying to figure out how you guys voted in those kind of politicians. Still trying to figure it out. Especially since it's the conservative, what is it? It's a center-right party or something like that. I don't know what, I mean, is it safety over everything? Safety over freedom over there? But yeah, man, that's how you view Australia as you're in a boxing ring. And the rules are it's good guy versus bad guy, all right? And the rules are the good guy has to fight with his hands tied behind his back. You know what you should do? Get out of that effing ring. You know, I don't care if you got to pay Andrew Henderson. So I asked, hey, what do you charge? 25 grand. I don't even get like the list of. I'm like, oh no, never mind. I could travel the world for that. Figure it out myself. But still, 25. Pay. Find out where you got to go. I would leave. There is no reason to be in that prison, and it is a prison you're living. Oh, it's big. You know, I mean, my gosh, it's like the communists wouldn't let people leave. And I understand it's under the ostensible excuse of the root beer float crisis. But I don't know what happened, what virus in the mind has seeped into and infected the powers that be at Australia, but that is no longer a tenable country to live in. And I know people in Australia, and they were socialists. Can't wait to vote Democrat. Can't wait to vote. Not that you guys are Americans and now they're living in Australia. We're just such good little San Franciscans. Oh, and I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going over there? Huh? Oh, yeah, you voted to raise my taxes. Now look at you. Yeah, how's that government treating you now? Oh boy, government solves everything, doesn't it? Solution to everything. Leave. That's your long-term strategy. So one, in the short term, until you get, I had a client, and he's a very productive member of the Australian economy. He contributes a lot of GDP, employs several other people by ancillary consequence of his economic production. And I can't tell what this isn't you want this guy. Like if you had this type of guy, like everyone is as productive as this guy, you'd have income per capita around $250,000 a piece, US. And he's like, I got to get out. You know what his options? I could go to the United Kingdom. And I used to be like, well, United Kingdom, boy, they threw Count Dankula in jail because his little pug did the Heil sign. And now that's better than Australia. Get out. So your short term is learn to fight. Your medium term, go research, find, talk to a lawyer, find out what are the consequences of carrying a weapon. I guess situational awareness would be another thing. Like just kind of look around, man. Make sure. Just kind of an eyeball. Make eye contact. Like, look at that, huh? Who are you guys? That kind of thing. Because here's another thing. They're cowards too. That's why they go in packs. They're not going to take you on one-on-one. Get some kind of defense, like a loud, high decibel level, that you could just pull the thing and it makes this noise and everyone comes running. But But then your long-term strategy for any productive, law-abiding citizen should leave Australia. Unless there was like some mea culpa that came later, like a new party got in, or there was a revolution at the Australian Conservative Party currently, where like the new guard kicked out the old guard. God, I'd love to see charges pressed. I don't know what you get them on. And like, there'd be like, that will never happen again. You know, it was like prohibition. We'll never do that again. But no, it is the what gets me is the Conservative Party. Someone's probably going to cry, it's not the Conservative Party. It's the Center Christian Coalition Left, or whatever these European, I know you're not Europe, but whatever these European, you know, like, well, it's the allegiance with the alliance. And we had a majority and the prime minister's not the president. They had a vote of confidence. I don't want your British parliamentarianism. Technically, it's a variant of it. I don't care. The point is, a high enough percentage of the Australian people have voted to enslave themselves. And I would get the hell out. That's what I would do. And then I would go to an Asian country, a stable Muslim country. They don't mess around with crime there. Singapore, if you could hopefully get into it. But yeah, man, I would absolutely not stay in Australia. That's the point of government, to have law and order. That's like the basic thing. Defend us from foreign invaders and keep law and order. It was the same thing with Minneapolis, although in your case, it's a microcosm. Like, what did the cops do? Nothing. Why? City council tied arms behind that. And then the state, I don't know if you know how the city works, but the National Guard, which is supposed to, like, if you ever play Grand Theft Auto, then you understand. National Guard sat there for a day and a half because the government was like, leave. So like 1 hour a day, you're spending getting another passport, researching where to go. I recommend going to your library and getting the Economist Intelligence Unit. Find out where there's Aussie expat communities and leave. But what about New Zealand? Don't you guys have like kind of a thing, an agreement? All right. Any super chats today? Look like there's 1, 2, 3, a little bit here. DJ Aftershock, $2. It's obvious from the shirt. Cappy loves New York. Yeah, Goodwill. This is from the Twin Cities. When I went back, I'm like, oh, I didn't pack any clothes. So I went to Goodwill for like $20. I got like 3 pairs of shorts and 3 shirts. It was great. Good deal over at Goodwill. Cable Summers, $5. How can you digest that the vast majority of girls already have a sexual past and don't let that affect dating or relationship? Well, because it is what it is. Cable, I'm going to presume you're younger. Okay. When you get older, you're going to realize you have to accept what is. I have my body count too. That's what it is. I don't know. You need to date and have sex more, because what you'll realize is deflowering a virgin is not a fun time. It's not. He's crying and you're like, wait, what? I'm your first? Ooh. Then if you still have a little bit of a soul left in you, you're like, I don't feel good about myself. That would be one of, I'd put that up there like, well, maybe not as bad, but it ranks to the same field of accidentally running over somebody's dog. I'd be like, oh, I don't feel good about myself. Really, I know it's not my fault. I didn't know, but I really don't feel good about myself. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe I'm just down the path of cynicism and misanthropy more than you, but I don't, what is doesn't bother me anymore. I just accept what it is. I use it, try and profit off of it, and at least acknowledge it. And then I move on. I don't know. Good luck finding your starry-eyed virgin. Ice Nose, $2. Cappy, what happened to the great one? Where is he? He's working. I mean, what happened to him? He's working. Him and Pig had put out a Greasy Pole podcast recently. Is that it? No. One more. Joseph Ferrado, $5 Australian. What about places like Croatia, Serbia, Czechia, Russia, the Baltic Sea, or Eastern Europe? Fine, go there. I don't know. Look, guys, I have no idea. All I got is like a spreadsheet and all my economic research and analysis. And generally speaking, Asian countries and Central European countries or former Soviet bloc countries with balanced budgets. That's all I got. I've also thrown in obesity index because I don't know what it's like down in Australia, but here in the United States, people are fat. And it's disgusting to look at people, even though it's not finance or critical to the economy or the stability. I want a population that has modesty and respect for their fellow citizens to go out in public and comport themselves in a polite and civil manner. Like a vestment in the society. Like, I'm not going to go out in public looking like crap. We're out here in the United States like, large in charge, look out. People of Walmart. Russia, I hear, is incredibly corrupt and hard to get into. Don't know if you want to. Baltics are cold. I don't know. People keep singing the praises of Croatia. I got to go there. So I don't know, but you got to get boots on the ground. I'd start in Southeast Asia for you guys because it's just right there. That's it. There you go. Questions, answers, aholeconsulting.com. See you guys later.